What you want, son?
Actor James Franco is having a party with all his celebrity friends.
Place is like a piece of me. You two just stepped inside me.
Thanks, James Franco.
But the wild night is interrupted by the apocalypse.
It's a zombie invasion.
I'm the one who said it's been
You
zombies.
said zombies?
I said zombies the whole
You said
time.
zombies?
I don't think you never said zombies. You said
Franco and his actor friends must contend with the end of the world in This Is the End.
Hi, I'm Salim.
My name is James Strong, but everybody calls me Hercules.
And I'm Brenna, and we're here to talk about This Is the End, the new comedy from Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. We've all just seen it. Who wants to start us off?
Herc, you're a new reviewer. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, I have been the TV critic for Ain't It Cool News for the last 13 years.
What did you think about this movie?
I love this movie. I thought this movie was the funniest movie of the year.
I mean, when you hear about this movie coming out of the summer, all the talent involved, you're assuming and hoping it's going to be the funniest movie of the year. And I was scared. I thought it was just going to rest on these guys' improv abilities, but no, there's actually a good story here.
Yeah, there's good writing, there's good story, there's character building. Even though they're playing themselves, they're still playing characters. They're playing these man-baby caricatures of themselves. They're very self-deprecating, and it makes for a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
It exploits the American obsession with the secret lifestyle of the rich and the famous. So we see them at a party, and then we see them in their most intimate moments, which is what paparazzi get paid thousands of dollars to try and get pictures of.
There's always this attraction-repulsion thing with actors. You want to be them, but then you look at their lifestyles, they're a little bit vapid. This one works because all they do is make fun of themselves.
everyone gets a fifth of everything.
I want 1/5 of your t-shirt. I want the bottom part, the belly.
I'm not sporting a crop top in your house.
I'll cut that off, make a headband.
You couldn't handle my midriff.
When you think of them, every complaint you've ever had about any of these actors, they address it.
Exactly.
Anytime you've thought something bad, they're like, yeah, no, it was bad. Don't worry, we understand.
And this was very much in Seth Rogen's wheelhouse. It's really the Seth Rogen film we've been waiting for a long time. Because I guess, I don't know if you guys are old enough, but he used to be on a show called Freaks and Geeks.
Oh, of course.
He played Ken Miller, and when he was hanging around with James Franco and Jason Segel and Linda Cardellini and Busy Phillips, he was always the guy. I was always watching him in the corner of the frame, waiting for this zinger, because all he did was make fun of whatever was going on.
Yeah.
And he was always 100% on target. He's always good for a laugh. And this is kind of like a whole movie worth of that.
But what I loved about this movie is that it's not just about the comedy. It's surprisingly heartfelt. It's really about Seth Rogen and Jay Baruchel and what happens to a waning friendship when one of them gets successful.
This movie is a lot of fun. It's really well written. The characters are all fully developed, but there's one major flaw. If you don't know who these actors are, if you're unfamiliar with them and their work, the entire film would be wasted on you.
It's equally about how funny these people are around each other and how we know these people's personalities. But I see it as much as these are just sketches, one sketch to the next, that are kind of stringed together, that have a coherence to them. But each sketch is kind of about a certain subject. Like somebody has a gun and they're waving it around, and then how many jokes can we get about out of that?
Yeah, but you wouldn't get why it's funny that he has the camera for 127 hours if you don't know what that is. You won't
But
get
those are
why
smaller jokes,
the Green
though.
Hornet is funny.
True.
You won't
Yes.
get why
Oh, yeah.
any of
Yeah,
there's the
true.
half, at least half, if not more, of the jokes are based on who these guys are. That's why they're playing themselves instead of somebody else.
We obviously have tons of actors here. I'll start with my favorite. Danny McBride was hilarious. He kind of played the villain in this picture.
Kinda.
I didn't want to give it all away because he becomes quite villainous.
If you know who Danny McBride is, you kind of...
This film is also full of villainy.
Yeah, no, and that's the other thing I loved, is that it's really about these guys and their flaws and how their flaws either help them or hurt them near the end of the movie.
Perhaps the most evil person in the film of all is Jonah Hill, and he was, for me, a major highlight. He goes through the most extensive and dramatic character arc, and I think the funniest.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill is no more.
Demon?
Yes.
That's not good. That's not good.
Along with this cast, we also have a string of cameos that make the film amazing. We have Michael Cera, we have Emma Watson. Everybody who shows up is there for the perfect amount of time. Nobody's there for too much.
The script is by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, and they're Judd Apatow proteges, who previously wrote Pineapple Express, Superbad, and The Green Hornet. The Green Hornet was PG-13. This happily brings them back to their R-rated roots, and thank God.
And it's shocking because this is their first time directing as well. And it's wonderful to see how adept they are at getting all of these comedic actors together. Every single character had their time to shine. Nobody got shortchanged.
Yeah, this is Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg's directorial debut. And to do so well on their first film with no experience.
It's kind of a miracle.
It's amazing.
It's such an elaborate movie with so many big special effects. It looks like Pacific Rim sometimes. It looks like a Ghostbusters.
By the end of this film, you're left with this sense of happiness, not just because these characters end up in a great position, but also because this movie worked.
This Is the End is filled with action, scares, thrills, and self-deprecating celebrities. I think it's the funniest movie of the year. I say see it.
With a hilarious and entirely unique form of storytelling, This Is the End is the beginning of something wonderful. See it.
I honestly didn't want this to end. Hilarious through and through, unique, and surprisingly heartfelt. See it.
All right, guys, cheers!
Cheers! So this is the end.
To the beginning.
Can I have that Milky Way?
Support for Just Seen It comes from Acorn Media, distributors of Midsummer Murders, a hit detective series set in a quaint British village. Now on DVD. More information is available at acornonline.com/PTV.